y'all. It has certainly been a minute, hasn't it? Well, anyway, whenever I made that post earlier, I thought, well, I want to cook me something good to eat tonight. I didn't have a video planned. So I thought, well, I thought about this. I had some of this in the cabinet. And of course, y'all know I have me some ground beef. So I thought, I'm just going to make me that little box of spaghetti and get on here, and that way we can talk a little bit since it's not a new recipe. So if you're here for a new recipe, just come back next time, because that's not what we're doing tonight, okay? I am just going to make me a little bit of dinner and chat with my friends that like to chat with me. And I actually wanted to do this live, but my internet has been so sporadic here lately. I don't, like right now, I can hear that my TV is frozen, which I do Hulu, but I have the Hulu Live, and you know, it runs off the internet, and it's just in and out, and then like my phone will just spin. I just now heard the TV come back on. It's just, and that's so aggravating, trying to watch something and it pauses and it just loads and then it comes back on and then it does it again. I can't hardly stand it, y'all. I'm just like, I just don't even want to watch it, which I don't watch TV much, but when I do watch it, I want to be able to watch it, you know? So anyway, that's why I decided to not go live, because I thought it's probably going to be a disaster. So we'll just talk, and then y'all can talk in the comments, and then I can try to answer back. I know I am so far behind, y'all, with messages, comments. Like I said, I have just kind of put my phone down. Aside from, you know, I got on the other day and checked like my memories. I try to remember now to do that every day. Just simply because there's so many memories there of Canaan and just both of my boys, and just memories of whenever what my life was before it changed. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've really been enjoying sharing all of that stuff and with all of you. So anyway, other than that, I mean, I've probably not spent 10 minutes on my phone since Wednesday. Seriously. I mean, just the very basics. If, you know, return a text or something real quick, you know, with Braden or family and friends, that's been about it. So I hope y'all have done the same thing. I hope you have enjoyed the weekend and your family. Y'all, I've already cooked my ground beef for this. So now, y'all know I like to dress up that little box of spaghetti. I'm going to throw in my peppers and onions here that I diced up, and then we'll get back to talking, okay? I've already boiled my pasta, got that done. I wanted to get the majority of everything done, that way I could just focus on us talking instead of focusing on cooking. I'm going to put a little spoonful of my garlic in there. And let's see, since I've already drained it, I'm going to do a little, y'all know I save out pasta water. I'm going to go ahead and pour just a little bit in to give it a little bit of liquid, just to let those peppers and onions cook up, because we're going to be adding pasta water anyway. Y'all know that. And I just season my ground beef like I always do with the usual. But anyway, I hope y'all have had some much needed downtime, some time with family. Hope you got lots of food, your belly's full. Like I said, me and Braden still have our little Thanksgiving to do. That's just something that we've always done over the years. And we won't do like a turkey. You know, I'm fine just if I love deli meat turkey, but as far as like real turkey, eating that little bit on Thanksgiving is enough for me. And my boys were always the same way. We just soon to have that ham, you know, that I cook. So when we do ours, we'll have ham, and I'll do dressing. We all like dressing, and then it'll just be our little side dish favorites, like mashed potatoes, macaroni and cheese, green beans. I'll make a hash brown casserole. I'll leave the onions out for Braden. But anyway, he come up with the idea. He said, well, how about we do it at my house this year? And I had already asked him if he wanted me to put his Alabama tree up this year at his house, you know, since that was his tree. And he said, yeah. So he said we could put the tree up. I may go, since we decided to wait and have the dinner next weekend, I may go over there one day this week and just go ahead and get the tree like put up. And it's a flocked pre-lit tree, if y'all remember from last year, but I always put a ton of extra lights on all my trees. So I thought I could get the hard part done and maybe go ahead and get that done one day this week. Just have him leave me a key, or I need him to give me a key anyway. Don't y'all think that since he's got a key here, I should have a key to his house? I bet he won't agree to that. Which I wouldn't bother him no way, but anyway. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But something else I wanted to talk to y'all about. You remember I shared that post about the Dateline episode with Karen Swift, and then we never really got to talk about it? Well, one reason why we never got to talk about it was because, just like what I was just telling you, I was trying to watch the Dateline that night. I had hit record on the Dateline and the 2020, and I thought, well, I'll watch the Dateline and then I'll watch the 2020. Y'all, it kept stopping and freezing up, and it just kept on and up. Finally, I just turned it off and went to bed. I think about 30 minutes into it, and I think it was an hour and a half show, or something like that, but it drove me nuts. And so then I just never got around to watching them. Even though I watched the whole trial, I wanted to kind of look at it as the whole story put together on those episodes before we talked about it, because I knew y'all were watching it too, and that way we could kind of conversate on what we thought about it. And remember, y'all, we all don't have to agree. If you disagree with what I think or feel or whatever, that is perfectly fine. That's why they have a jury. That's why they ended up being a hung jury, because they couldn't agree. So let's not turn it into an argument in the comments or anything like that. Be adults about it. But anyway, so over the weekend, me and Jade listened to both of them, the 2020 and the Dateline. So I've got it fresh on my mind now, and we did a lot of talking about it. So I'm still where I was whenever I watched the trial. I'm still so torn about it. I feel like he had motive. I feel like he had opportunity, reason, just, all those things. Like he just looks, it's one of those situations where he just looks guilty straight out of the gate because of everything that was going on. And I get that. My problem with and I'm not 100% sure he didn't do it, but that's the thing. I'm not 100% sure that he did. Like, there's so many gaps in there that are just questionable, or so many events, or so many different things. Like, I feel like, okay, so we know that she got home around 2 a.m., went to bed with her daughter. Supposedly, she moved the daughter to another bed. They tried to say in court that he did it. Either way, the daughter got moved to another bed. Okay? We know that there was activity on the computer around 3:30 that morning. So, if he did do it, he had to have done it after that time, because there's no way he would have been able to do all of that from 2 to 3:30. Like, them go to bed, move the daughter, get her, kill her, take her, and there's no way he could have done all that in an hour and a half, okay? So if he did do it, it had to have been done after the computer was turned off, if he was the one on it, like they're trying to say. The state was trying to say that he was the one on the computer at that time, so he was awake. All right? So, I have a hard time believing that he got her out of that house without ever waking one of those girls up. You know, she was in very fit shape. She went to the gym. She was just, you know, she was in shape. And obviously, I mean, he's not, and he had supposedly had a hurt knee. Whether he was faking that or whether he wasn't, at some point he did have knee surgery. We do know that. I just find it hard to believe that he would get her out of that house without her fighting. I mean, you know, she would fight like something crazy, and without those girls ever hearing a thing. And then supposedly, like they're saying, he did it in the garage. Then drove her car up there to the place, you know, disposed of her body, put a screw in the tire. You're telling me that he did all of this stuff between 3:30 and daylight and didn't leave a trace behind? I have a hard time believing that. Like, it's hard to get away. I know that's been 11 years ago, but even then, the technology, it is hard to cover up something like that, in my opinion. You know, like, no. And they were there the next day investigating him. It's not like they waited and investigated 11 years later. No, he was a suspect from the very beginning, and they went through the garage, the house, you know, everything. His vehicle, you know, all of that was searched right at whenever it all happened, as far as I'm aware. Now, if any of this is false, y'all, I'm just telling you what I think is true. So if I am saying anything false, y'all can let me know and correct me if I'm wrong. So you got to think, if somebody else did it, they had more time to clean up because the police wasn't there knocking on their door the next day. You know, they were clueless at this point they didn't even know if she was alive or what. So I just feel like that it would be hard for him to do all of this in that amount of time, never wake those girls up, and never leave a trace of anything behind. Not even a fingerprint. There was not even a single fingerprint of hers, or of his and her vehicle. Not a single sign of any kind of thing going on in the garage. None. And supposedly they're saying that's where it happened at. Like, it's hard to cover that stuff up. So, but then, okay, so here's where I get stuck at. So I think all of that. And then I think, well, goodness, it's just crazy to think that it would be anybody else. So I think it's got to be him. But I'm just like, make it make sense for me. Because I think, okay, she had 2 phones. They were able to track all of those and this and that, and there was no message on there of her saying that she was leaving to meet somebody or whatever. But what if she had a 3rd phone? We don't know. Maybe she had a 3rd phone, and then that person that she talked to on the 3rd phone was the person that she met, and then that person got that phone in the bottom of the river somewhere because he or she knew that would be evidence. But then tossed the other 2 phones to make it look like she didn't have the 3rd phone. I mean, I don't know if she had a 3rd phone. It's just, this is just how my mind works. Another thing that really, really stands out to me is that somebody broke into the country club the night of the Halloween party, and the only single thing that was taken was those videotapes of the party, the surveillance tapes or whatever. Why would somebody need to get those tapes if nothing happened? David wouldn't. I mean, he hadn't even been a suspect of breaking in there and getting those, but he wouldn't have no reason to. He wasn't even at the party. So something had to have happened for somebody to want those tapes and, destroy the tapes, because they've never been seen. They were supposedly destroyed and gone and never seen again. So, so that's another thing. Like, if he did do it, then who did that and why? You know, because some people are saying that she had an altercation at the Halloween parties, and some people saying she didn't. Then you got these people saying that they seen a man with a metal detector on the side of the road. I mean, are these people just making this stuff up out of thin air, or like I don't know. Like, it's just, why would people lie about such random things? You know, I don't know. I can't make myself believe that he did it, but I can't, at the same time, I can't talk myself out of the fact that he may have done it. Do y'all feel that way? Y'all let me know what you think, and if you have thought of any other scenarios that may have happened or anything. I mean, now they're taking him back to court for manslaughter. He got re-indicted for that. But the way I look at that is, how can you take him back to court if he got not guilty on first degree and second degree murder? I know that there's different degrees with it. How could you find him guilty on manslaughter? If he killed her, he killed her. So I just can't wrap my mind around it. I'm putting my little season packet in here, y'all. I just can't, I don't know. I just can't wrap my mind around all of it. It's like, did she have plans with somebody to leave that house after she got Ashley asleep? You know, she left the bonus house, and maybe there was somebody else there, and she said, I'm going to go get her, take her home, and put her to sleep, and then I'll come back. So there wasn't even a need to communicate back and forth during that little bit of time she was gone. I mean, I don't know. It just, and that's another thing. If he was planning on doing it, he couldn't have been planning on doing it that night, because she wasn't even supposed to come home. Remember, she ended up coming home, but she had first told him that she wasn't. So it's just a crazy story. Hang on just a second, y'all. I'm going to run my can opener and get these open. Okay, y'all. Now, you know, on the box it says to put in 6 ounces of, where does it say that at? I've seen that somewhere. Oh, right here. 6 ounces of tomato paste. I don't have tomato paste. I actually like to use diced tomatoes, but I guess I've run out because I didn't have any. And then it says to use 2 cups of water with this seasoning. So what I'm going to do is just add in some of these crushed tomatoes, because that's what I have. And then I'm going to add in some pasta water, you know, instead of regular water. I don't think I'm going to do this whole can. But anyway, so back to that. And also, we do know that she had talked to some of her friends and said that she had gotten herself in a mess and gotten herself involved with a married man and all of this stuff. So you got that there. It's just like there is so many, there's just so many questions about so many things because of just the lifestyle that she was living. And I'm not talking bad about her at all. I mean, I didn't know her, and everybody said she was a wonderful mother, and I get it. You go through things, and you know, you may not be your best all the time. I think we've all not been our best at times. So I'm not talking down on her, but you know, obviously there was a shift in the way that she acts. Let me get me a fork. And you know, she was living a different lifestyle, and you know, like, and then her friend Kathy was up there on the stand talking about how David would get mad, and this and that. But I mean, what husband or wife wouldn't get mad about their significant other being in a hot tub naked with other people, and especially if they're not involved in that kind of lifestyle themselves? You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not defending David, but I mean, I don't see anybody being, that's just not okay most of the time. And then, like, I'm not saying he didn't get a little crazy with, you know, the following her and getting in the back seat of the car and all that. I mean, yeah, he pushed it a little bit. And then, you know, we seen on there what he did with his recent ex-wife. So I get all of that. But you got to tell me that this whole time, that all of this, that she was doing all this stuff to make him so mad and this and that he never, ever once got physical with her. Not one time. Did anybody ever say that he was any way at all abusive to her? Maybe they tried to act like he was a little bit verbally abusive. But then even his current ex-wife, she said, I was never afraid of him. So, I mean, like, apparently he never, you know, grabbed her or done anything like that. So, but then supposedly he did what he did that night. It just, most of the time when somebody has it in them to do something like that, and I get it, you can snap. But most of the time when you have that ability, you also show different signs of that. Just it gets brought out in you and at times. That's just my thought. I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all, I mean, don't you feel like that if he was like that, then it would have come out that he was, and like I said, even the other wife said, you know, that he never was abusive. She was never afraid, you know, obviously he wasn't even verbally abusive or anything like that, the way she talked, because what reason would she have to lie? And then him being in her backyard, stalking her with an ankle bracelet on, while he's out on bond. I'm thinking, you've got to tell me that this man is smart enough to get away with murder, but he's dumb enough to stalk his new ex-wife with an ankle monitor on while he's out on bond. I mean, it's just a whole big mess. And it just, my mind gets so wrapped up in it sometimes, y'all, because I didn't know anything about the case whenever the trial come on. And I just started watching it one day. I guess I seen where somebody had posted about it. And I thought, oh yeah, I remember hearing her name, you know, and I remember hearing that it had something to do with Halloween or a Halloween party. So for some crazy reason, I went to the trial and got to watching it. And I went in not knowing, I didn't know any of this about the swingers and the affairs and all this stuff that they had been going on in their life. I didn't know anything about it. So I went in completely neutral, not having a side. And the whole time, I felt the same exact way while watching that trial. I thought, I don't know if he did it or if he didn't, but there's no way they're going to be able to convict him, because there just wasn't enough reason. There wasn't that proof there that they needed. And it blows my mind that they're going to go try for it again, because it's like you don't have anything new. You're going to have to present the exact same case for the exact same thing, just a lesser charge. So I don't know, y'all. And then they said they're moving it to somewhere again, but it's been on Dateline. It's been on 2020. There's no way people don't know about this. And I know on the, which one was it? The 2020, I think, showed some jurors on there, and they were the same way. They just, it was like, you know, it just couldn't be proven. The woman felt like that he, you know, had done something, or maybe he was crazy, but they just didn't have enough to say guilty. They just didn't have enough to put a man in prison for the rest of his life. I mean, simple as that. And I don't know that they'll, and then even if they do find him guilty for manslaughter, I think it has about 3 to 5 years in prison. Well, shoot, he got arrested in 2022. He's already served that time. So, I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments, though. Anyway, I'm just making this spaghetti. Y'all know I love spaghetti, and ever since I found first time I made that little box was last year. I had never had it before. I'm going to let this sauce just cook for a minute, and then I'm going to add my spaghetti in here. I might take a picture of it. But while I'm trying to get all this done and my video loaded, then I'll be in the comments, and y'all let me know what you think. We'll kind of try to talk about it a little bit, and kind of let me know what you think on my take on it. And if something I said and you think, well, I don't believe that because of this, and I might be like, well, yeah, you're right. Just sometimes it's all about how a person presents something too. Like, the state could get up there during the trial and tell all of their stuff, and I thought, yeah, I'd think in my mind, yep, it sounds like he did it. And then the defense get up there, and I'm just like, well, I don't know if he did it or not. So it just, how your mind works, but I don't know. Anyway, I've been on here 25 minutes and something, y'all. Anyway, if y'all have hung in here with me while I just been yakking, thank y'all. I'll try to get back here in the kitchen tomorrow and do a recipe for us. I've got so much to do. I'm so behind. But either way, I'll be sharing the Christmas tree deal with y'all, and I'll try to do a little bit of our little Thanksgiving thing. I know y'all miss Braden. Little stinker don't hardly come around unless he's got a package to pick up. But anyway, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye.